What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the We Run on Coffee podcast. I'm Arika,
And I'm Marissa.
and today we are talking about an upcoming holiday, Groundhog
Yay.
Day. If you guessed it from our
Yay.
last episode, congrats to you. I bet you were thinking Valentine's Day. I bet you were
Nope.
thinking Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Just kidding. That might be over by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
It definitely is. But you
It's
never
not
know.
President's Day.
Not President's Day. We're talking about Groundhog Day, and I'm way too excited about it. I cannot wait.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah, welcome back to the pod. Definitely head over to YouTube or Spotify if you would like to watch today. You have to tune into the video because I'm putting photos in today's episode, photos that are
Yay.
applicable to what we're talking about, and I will be describing them, but it's not the same as seeing them. So, you
No.
definitely are going to want to tune into video today. So, we'll start off with what you're drinking. What do you got?
I have a cranberry raspberry
Cute.
spindrift,
I
which
did
is my
I
favorite
did tell that
flavor.
you were opening something, and I was like, "What's she got? What's she
I
got?" I was so
know.
excited.
It's my favorite flavor. I
Yum.
actually told my mom to try these and she hated them, so she gave
Oh,
me her whole pack, but that pack is gone, and so now I've got my own pack.
I like the Spindrift lemonade ones. Is that what that is, or
Oh,
that's just the water?
it's just water.
Yes, I like the Spindrift lemonade, but I don't know if I've actually had the water ones. I'm not drinking anything exciting, you guys. I'm drinking the same thing I was drinking last time. I should have got
That's
sparkling
okay.
water, but I feel like I need to finish the coffee first. I've actually been slow moving on it. I don't want to get a headache, but I have my Fairlife chocolate milk coffee
Yay.
combo or whatever you want to call it, and it's very good. And my water, which I will be sipping. You'll see, especially because I'm going to be talking a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So that you don't have to talk so much, I'll ask you, Erica, what are you looking
okay.
forward to?
It's actually a really good question, and I actually just told you how I wasn't prepared, and I didn't get prepared.
Uh-huh,
So let
uh-huh.
me tell you
That's
guys.
okay.
I'm gonna open my calendar on my phone. So let's see what we have. That's Goodreads. So
That's
today,
not what we're looking
it's
forward
not what we're
to.
looking for. Today I have pretty much nothing except I'm gonna be playing some GTA. I guess no one's surprised at this point. This week I work all week. I do. Sadly, while we were at my cousin Pam's, my stepdad's grandma passed away. So I have my great grandma's
Oh,
funeral this week, but
I'm
she lived a
sorry.
very, that's okay. We were like, you know what? It's just like one of those things when someone is just like, it's like she lived a really long, good life. She's
Hmm.
like 97, I want to say, which
Wow.
is so impressive. I'm like, that's amazing. And you could tell that she was tired. She was like, like I miss my husband, like I miss my siblings, and it's sad, but it's also like, you know what, like she really did it. She really did 97 years, and she did
Yep.
them well. So
She was almost a
I'm
centenarian.
I know, right? That's so wild. So yeah, it is sad, but it will be all right. It's one of those things.
Hmm.
Circle of life, which is very scary.
Yes.
Anyways, moving on
We'll get
from
away
the
from our
depressing.
we'll get
Yeah.
away from our existential crisis for
Yes,
the
please.
moment.
On Saturday, I'm going to get my hair done. And Marissa was saying in the last episode
Yay.
that she hasn't been since summer. I'm pretty sure I haven't either. I think I skipped my like Q4 hair last year.
Hmm.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I had like a moment where I was like, should I go red, like a dark, deep red? And I'm
Oh,
like, I kind of like that idea.
have you seen Cherry Cola hair?
Maybe. I
I
think I
think
might have been seeing that.
it looks so good. It's like a dark burgundy
Yes.
brown,
No, that's
and
exactly what I was thinking.
it looks so nice.
Okay, you
I think
guys.
you could pull it off for sure.
Wait, should I do it? I wasn't gonna do it, and then I was like, that's what I've been thinking about so much though. And the thing is, if I don't have to bleach my hair to do it,
You
I'm
don't. You
down.
shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Look up Cherry Cola hair.
This is what I'm looking at, you guys. Let me show you guys.
Yeah,
I
I think it
think
looks
it's
so
really
good.
cute. There's these two too. I like the almost the darker version of it, but with a little
Mm.
hint of red. I do think it could look good. So that's like on my mind. We're thinking about it.
The warning with red is that it never comes out.
Oh,
So
really?
I think you'd be a little frustrated if you like don't want
Didn't
it
like it?
for a while.
I think I would like it. The thing is, I want to do something new, but obviously I'm not going to go blonde anymore. I don't want to bleach my hair anymore, and I don't want to hurt my hair, but I feel like I've dyed my hair for years and it's still always been soft and healthy and like it doesn't
Yeah.
do much. So I don't know. It's a battle, I guess. So
I
I'm
think it
thinking
would
about
look
it.
so good on you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it then. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you
You
guys
could
know.
even they have like hair dye that's like called demi-permanent, so it's like
Yeah,
half
that's
permanent, and
right.
I think you should do that
That's true.
if you want to like try it out.
I know. I was like, what do I want to change? Should I get bangs? And I'm like, yeah, there's no way she's going to cut my bangs. That's like a
Yeah.
rule. She's like, I'll never cut your bangs. I'm like, okay, fair enough. So yeah, I have my hair appointment and then another week of work and then we'll be back together. I don't have like many in
Eh.
what the word is. It's set in stone plans is what I'm trying to say.
That's so
Um,
funny.
which is good because we've been running and running. So I'm
Uh-huh,
excited to have a
uh-huh.
little bit of a break. And I'm sure I'll do a lot. As we found out this past week, I did a lot. So we'll see.
Yeah.
What about you?
Okay, so next weekend, the same day that you have your hair appointment, I have my work holiday party.
Oh, that's fun.
So we're going to a place. Have you ever heard of Punch Bowl Social?
Yes. I
Okay.
think I have. Is it a
I
chain? Is there one in Cincinnati?
I think it's a chain. I don't know
Or
if it's in
oh,
Cincinnati,
wait,
but
no, never mind. I'm thinking of Fishbowl, which is in Cincinnati, that my mom keeps telling me about. It's like a you do
oh,
bingo and get drinks, and she said it looks really fun. But
well,
no, okay, tell me again.
if
I'm
you know what Punch Bowl Social is, it's basically like Ohio people. It's like pins. So it's
Oh,
like
okay.
a bar with games,
Got it.
basically. I don't know any other places that are like this kind of
Yeah.
chain, but it's like a bar
Eight
with
bit.
games.
I think 8-bit is like
Sure.
the video game one, but yeah.
There's no video games. It's like they
Okay.
have bowling, they
Bowling.
have everything else, but whatever. We're getting
That'll be fun.
our drinks, our food, and our like games are provided by the company, and we can have like
Yay.
one guest come. So I'm
That's
really
cool.
excited for that. And then the weekend after that is my friend Brooke's birthday. So we're gonna be going to Top Golf and maybe brunch for her birthday.
That's really fun.
I know, and I love Top Golf, so I'm excited to do
Yeah.
that.
I'm
I
bad at
do
Top Golf.
have 2 full weeks of work coming up, which is going to be rough because I haven't
Yeah.
worked a full week since
Like
forever.
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
And I only worked 2 days last week because I was sick. But I do get to work from home tomorrow, which will be a new
No
experience
way.
for
Wait, I'm
me.
shook. I did not expect you to say that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna work from home tomorrow because I'm still technically on quarantine from the
Okay.
flu.
Yeah.
And we're also supposed to get a huge snowstorm
Yes, that's
in the
right.
morning. We're supposed to like it's supposed to like blizzard, literally blizzard from
Yeah.
like 1 a.m. until like 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Wow.
And we're gonna be getting about 10 to 12 inches of snow. The most I've seen is 14. So we're
I
getting a
can't
lot
believe
of
it.
snow, and I was talking to my manager, and she was like, "Well, on Monday, like if you want to work from home, that's fine, like because of the snowstorm." And I was like, "Fun fact, I'm actually
Wow.
sick. I'm not coming in the rest of the week, and also I will have to work from home on Monday,
Yeah.
or I'll be taking PTO depending on how I feel. But I think I'm going to be good enough to work from home tomorrow."
Wait, that's so exciting. I love it. A work
I
from home
know.
girly. That's
I
cool.
know. And then something I am excited for, but I was telling Eric I didn't know if I wanted to say it, but I'm going to say it
Okay.
because I'm a transparent girly. I'm starting therapy this
Woohoo!
week.
Wait, I actually do have therapy before next time we talk too. So
Wow.
same. That's really exciting.
So it'll be my first appointment. So it's going to be, I think the like company I'm going through does like hour-long appointments, but
Oh,
of
good.
course that could probably change
Are
depending
you
on like what
doing
she thinks I need.
online or in person?
Yes, I'm doing it
Nice.
online. I'm
Okay.
doing it through Lyra, Lyra.
Oh, cool.
And it's just another one of the online
Yeah.
therapy platforms. And it's the one that like is covered through our insurance through like Kyle's work benefits and stuff.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see what it's about. I'm nervous
Yeah.
because I got some things to talk about, but
Yeah.
who knows? We'll see how it goes.
It'll
And
be good.
I don't know what like a first appointment looks like.
I don't
So,
remember. I was going to tell you what to expect and I don't remember. I had my first appointment with a therapist I didn't like that I don't have anymore. So I
uh-huh.
don't even remember, but I think it was very rudimentary. But my therapy being online, it doesn't go super deep, I feel like. Not like an in-person therapist would, but my sessions are 30 minutes. So they go so fast, I feel like. So I don't know what
Yeah.
to tell you. I think it's a lot of like, what's your name? Tell me about what's going on currently. I feel like I didn't
Yeah.
do a lot of like backstory until later, but I don't know. I think it's different
I'm
for everyone.
I'm hopeful I like my lady,
Yeah.
but I also know that it's like a trial and error kind of
Yep.
thing.
Well,
So
the good thing about the apps is that you don't have to feel bad when you switch. It's like a lot
that's
easier than
true.
switching with a real life person and being like, "Hey, I'm going to quit on you and find someone else," which kind of
Yeah.
sucks.
I hope it works. The app also, well, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like an app, but it's also like a whole like online platform.
Hmm.
They do like homework too, so they can assign
Oh,
me
cool.
homework like in the app and
That's cool.
stuff. And I don't know. We'll see how it works. I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
nervous. We'll see what
It's just a new
happens.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Love that for you. Love that for us.
Yay.
We're having both therapy, which is good. In these winter months, that's when I need it the most. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good. Okay. Is that all for your updates or
I
what's coming?
think so.
All right, I guess we need to
Yeah.
dive in because it's going to be a long one. I'm really glad we only took 10 minutes. I have a lot of resources, you guys, the most resources I've ever had. I have them here in a Google Doc and I would say it's probably more than half a page. Honestly, it's like I don't know, 3/4 maybe of a page of resources. So if you'd like to check my resources, I'm not even going to read through them because there's a lot, a lot, a lot. So please check the description for all the resources. They will all be listed with links. So if you guys want to do your own research or fact check or whatever you want to do, you can do it. Feel free. It'll be in the description wherever you're listening. So we're just going to get into it. So we are talking about Groundhog Day. I am so excited. I always get so excited to talk about my boy, Punxsutawney Phil. If you don't know Punxsutawney Phil, you will by the end of this episode, so don't even worry. But every February, I get excited to talk about him. I wrote mostly because it's just fun to say his name. That's probably why I like it. But there's so much lore surrounding Groundhog's Day that I just like, I have to share it with you guys. So, by the way, I've never seen the movie. I know that's like a bit, whenever people talk about the holiday, they're like, have you seen Groundhog Day, the movie? I'm like, no. And you shouldn't be surprised because I've seen nothing.
Do you know what Groundhog Day, like the movie it's like is? A trope in a movie is it like too.
Is it like he's stuck in the same day?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I've not seen it.
The movie Happy Death Day is also a Groundhog Day movie because you wake up and you live the same day over and over again. There's a lot of movies that have the Groundhog Day trope.
That's so it's funny because that doesn't make sense with the holiday, really.
Nope. Like, but you just wake up, you live the same day over and over again. Typically, you have to like find something in your day to like help you move past. Okay. But
interesting. Well,
I've never seen the real Groundhog Day movie either. But
after all this research, I can tell you guys that reliving the same day over and over has nothing to do with actual Groundhog Day holiday. So I wonder where that came from. I'm actually curious. That might be a next deep dive.
Oh, goodness.
But anyways, we're going to start off with the basics, but we have a lot of categories. But we're going to start off with what is Groundhog Day itself. So in short, a groundhog will emerge from hibernation, come out of its den, and it will predict that whether winter will like continue or spring is on its way. That's what the shadow predicts. So if a groundhog sees his shadow, he will return to hibernation and winter will go on for 6 more weeks. And if he does not see a shadow, spring will arrive early. Now
he says nah and he goes back to sleep.
Yeah, he's like, I'm done. So we'll get into like the accuracy of this, but that's what Groundhog Day is. And it can be kind of any groundhog. So there are some different ones. We'll get into it. So when and where is Groundhog Day celebrated? This was interesting to me because I thought it was U.S. only, but it's actually U.S. and Canada, which I didn't know. It's every year on February 2nd, observed in U.S. and Canada. However, the tradition of predicting weather using an animal has roots in pre-Christian Europe, and some other countries and holidays are related to predicting the weather, which I didn't really think about the rudimentary fact that it is just about predicting weather, which is kind of funny. But Groundhog Day takes place in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. So Punxsutawney Phil is their groundhog's name, the official Groundhog Day groundhog. He's named after the town. But there are smaller celebrations in other cities. This is just like the OG, like capstone one. And the holiday is best known amongst people whose ancestors spoke German, especially Pennsylvania Dutch, which I just thought that was an interesting fact.
That is so interesting.
Yeah, and if you live in Ohio, you're from Ohio and you're familiar with our large Amish population, a lot of Amish people in Ohio speak Pennsylvania Dutch, came from Pennsylvania. So I thought that was cool too. I think that might be, I don't know, a connection of some sort.
Yeah.
So what is a groundhog? We're going to talk about the animal itself. I thought this was just a fun little insert.
Also thought that was so funny.
I know.
Was like, what?
I know.
But it makes sense to like kind of know.
I know. It's just kind of funny. And also I want to show you guys a very cute picture of a groundhog because I do not think of a groundhog as a cute creature, but this little drawing is. So groundhog is the common vernacular like name of the ground squirrel is what they call it, which is formerly known as a Marmota monax. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right.
Okay.
But the animal also goes by other names. So woodchuck. I didn't know woodchuck and groundhog were the same thing. I didn't know that was like a slang term. I thought those 2 different animals. But it can also be known as a woodchuck, a marmot, a land beaver, a whistler, or a whistle pig. I think that is so funny. And it says all of those nicknames refer back to the same creature, which is a groundhog.
I feel like I've heard of whistle pig before. Isn't that
really
a type of bourbon? Am I crazy?
Oh, well, let's find out. This needs a quick Google search.
Whistle pig.
Yes, good job, Marissa.
It's because Kyle loves bourbon.
Ew, wait, that's so funny. So it's named after a groundhog?
Ew, they have one in the shape of a.
Shut up.
Yeah, they have one in the shape of a guy.
I'm gonna leave this tab open, and I will. Wait, I don't see a shaped one.
Hold on.
You'll have to send it to me, and I will include it in the episode so you guys can see this. Whistle pig bourbon. Well, now we know why it's called that, I guess.
I just put it in the doc.
Okay. I'm excited.
Ew. It looks like a pig, actually, I think.
Wait, that is so funny. It does look like a pig. That is a pig. That's so weird. Okay,
I
well,
hate that.
whistle pig bourbon. That's hilarious.
Well, if you want to get the Whistle Pig Piggy Bank limited edition 10-year rye whiskey, it is
Holy
$329.
moly. That's
But
crazy.
regular Whistle Pig is only about $80, which
Yeah.
I've is like a normal price
Yeah.
for like a good
A good
bourbon.
one. Yeah. Okay. Good to know.
Weird.
Well, we've heard of
Okay.
the whistle pig, I guess. That's
There
so
is
funny that that
our
came to your mind.
tangent of the
Tangent of the day.
day.
I love it. Okay, so this is more facts about groundhogs. They grow up to 25 inches long. That's gross,
Okay.
first of all, over 2 feet. And they can live for 10 years if they're in captivity, which we'll get
Okay.
into how old Punxsutawney Phil is. He's older than 10 years, but
He's
you'll understand
old.
why. Yeah, he's pretty old. Groundhogs spend the winter hibernating in their burrows, significantly reducing their metabolic rate and body temperature so that by February, they lose like half their weight. And I think that's
Okay,
so crazy.
skinny.
Skinny legend. The groundhog's getting thin. I would be worried about my groundhog if it was half its weight. I would be like, oh my
Yeah.
God. The tangent of the day. Sorry, there's gonna be two. Do you hear about this trend on like Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are, that people threw away their hamsters or like buried them while they didn't know if they were dead or not? Because I guess people commonly bury or think their hamster's dead when it's actually just hibernating. Have you heard this?
I think I have heard that.
I don't know if it's true, but I've just heard like I think people don't know if it's true. People are like, "Wait, my groundhog did die at that time and it did do all these steps. Maybe it did die, maybe it didn't, but I've just heard that and I think it's interesting."
Yeah, I also another tangent. One of my cats one time when I was a little kid ate one of our hamsters.
Circle of life. You had to learn
I
from a young
know.
age.
I
That's
know.
funny. Oh no.
I know. Crazy story.
That is. Okay. Anyways, back to groundhogs. So, when groundhogs are out and about, they eat succulents, which I think is interesting, wild berries, and insects, and they don't mind helping themselves to garden vegetables or agricultural crops. So watch out
Aw.
if you got some crops, they might get a little whistle pigged, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my, what does that even mean?
I don't even know.
It like a carrot.
Yeah. So this is a picture I was talking about. Tune into the video so you can see it. This is an 1874 like drawing. I don't know if it's actually drawing or painting or whatever. It says a print from L. Prang and Company, which I don't know what that
Okay.
is. So sorry, but I just want to sort it or source it, whatever. I said it's actually sort of cute.
It
Like I don't think of
is.
this as a cute creature, but this is a cute drawing. So
Aw.
there you go. There's a whistle pig. And yeah. So where does the celebration of Groundhog Day come from? Groundhog Day is related to two other holidays, Halloween and Mayday. So there's this guy in his 2003 book. He's a folklorist named Don Yoder, which, first of all, Yoder is a big Amish last name. So I also
Uh-uh.
was like, maybe that's also a connection. Maybe he was Pennsylvania Dutch, maybe he's German, whatever.
Maybe.
But in his 2003 book called Groundhog Day, Don Yoder traces the roots of Groundhog Day to the same cycle of pre Christian festivals that gave us those two celebrations. So if you didn't listen to mine and Marissa's past episode that Marissa did, which is what was it called? Pagan Holiday episode.
Uh-huh.
Definitely check that out because that will help you understand the stuff I'm about to get into. Even I barely understand the stuff I'm about to get into, but I
Whoa,
want
I
to do it
see
anyway.
some
I
things.
know. So on the screen, you guys can see the cover of Groundhog Day by Don Yoder, the book. I just wanted to read the source of like the image. So it shows this person named Bill Dealey of the Inner Circle, which we'll talk about later, holding up the groundhog weather prophet, Punxsutawney Phil, in the 2002 Groundhog Day ceremony. So you could see Groundhog Phil. Punxsutawney Phil's pretty old.
He
Um,
is old.
yeah. So we're gonna get into before we talk more about Phil. Yes, Marissa has a
I have
question.
a conspiracy theory.
Ooh, love it.
What if he died and this is just like a new groundhog, but they're lying?
He did.
Oh,
He did. I was just playing up the lore, but we'll
that's
get into
so
it. He's
funny.
hundreds of years old. So it's definitely
Oh,
not, but it is. It is in
that's
spirit.
so
I
funny.
know.
I was like, I have a conspiracy.
Conspiracy. Oh my God, I'm crying. Okay, so in astronomical terms, talking about Groundhog Day, these holidays, talking about Halloween and May Day, were cross quarter days. So the days that fall midway between a solstice and an equinox. These festivals were celebrated throughout Europe by various tribes that we now refer to as Celts. And Yoder believes that they influenced the sense of time of all Europe and all the European colonies, which is very interesting. So the seasonal turning points in the Celtic year were immensely important yeah, communal festivals in the prehistoric, pre-Christian times. And of these festivals, the dates have continued to be important down to the present time. So the Celtic names for the four festivals, as we talked about in our one episode. So I actually don't remember how to pronounce them. Do you want to say them, the four festivals? I
Yeah,
forget.
Samhain, Mbloch, Beltane, and Lunasa, I think.
Thank you. So those are the Celtic names for the four festivals that the dates have continued to be important to present day. So
So
for
those, if you don't remember, I
yeah,
believe that they are the equinox and the solstice days.
yes, that would make
So
sense.
so there's four. The equinoxes are the
Like the spring
summer
and
ones, the
I was
spring
gonna
and
say spring,
fall.
summer, winter, fall. Are there four? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't look that back into it because I was like, I know Marissa taught me this, but I forget.
Yeah.
But for the ancient Europeans, those days were really crucial and embedded in their cultural sense of time. That when the Western European people were Christianized, the new church, unable to root them out, baptized, I'm doing air quotes, them into Christian holidays. So May 1st became
Mm.
May Day, originally associated with Virgin Mary, and later a secular spring festival with Maypole, May Queen, and other folkloric customs.
So that's what midsummer would be, the
Got it.
like
Okay.
pagan holiday.
Okay. And then August 1st, so separately, August 1st became in Britain Lammas. I don't know if that's how you say that. Lammas, or Loaf Mass Day, when the farmers' wives brought the first loaves of bread baked from the new harvest of grain to the church to be blessed. And since November 1st in the Celtic year was a day that was devoted to the dead, the church made that into All Saints' Day, which again, we talked about previously. But the people continued to celebrate the eve of the old holiday as Halloween with many harmless folkloric customs that have come all the way down to current day.
Yeah, which was the Samhain holiday and
Yes.
the
And
pagan.
yes. And then February 1st kind of extended into February 2nd, and that became Candlemas, which I don't think we talked about that. And
Mm-mm.
I'm not familiar with it. I didn't get into it because I have way too much other stuff in this episode. But that is what eventually became Groundhog Day. So all of these transitional days looked into the future or looked ahead to the next season, the coming 3 month period, and hence are weather important days. So that's kind of like a little bit on the history of Groundhog Day. And I did include another cute groundhog here so you guys can see it. He's eating a peach. I'm like, what the
Aw.
heck? It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So,
So I
yeah,
was thinking back to my pagan holidays
yeah,
episode, and I was like, I think February 1st and 2nd was like the time frame of a holiday because I
yeah,
know it was talking about like all of these holidays like matching up and stuff, but it didn't say like it was specifically actually on the same day. So I
yeah.
looked it up, and M Block is the one that is celebrated on February 1st and 2nd. So it
Okay.
is the exact same holiday. So I'm assuming M Block
Turned
is
into Candlemas.
Candlemas, which
Yes.
turned into Groundhog Day.
And I will give you guys, yes, I bet that's what it was first, and then it turned into Candlemas. So I just searched that, which makes sense. This is a Christianified holiday. So this is also known as the Feast of the Presentation of Jesus Christ, the Feast of the Purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary, or the Feast of the Holy Encounter. It's a Christian feast day commemorating the presentation of Jesus at the temple by Joseph and Mary. So that's what
Okay.
Candlemas is. And then
Okay.
from what one did you say?
M Block.
So from M Block to Candlemas, it eventually became Groundhog Day, which don't even ask me how that happened. You'd have to read a book on it because that's actually a big jump. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, it's still a weather predicting holiday.
Uh-huh.
So enjoy this picture of a groundhog eating a peach. That's all I have
So
to say.
cute.
All right, so now we're going to talk about Punxsutawney Phil himself and the festival. So the best known Groundhog Day ceremony occurs each year in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, which is just like I love saying it's so fun.
It's a
Um,
horrible name. Like
oh, I
the
love
way
it.
that
It's
it
such a mouthful.
looks,
Yeah.
the
The
way
way
that
that
it
it looks,
looks is
it's
horrible.
triggering, actually. Yeah.
I hate it.
Punxsutawney, it's so good. Um,
Uh-uh.
yeah, so every February 2nd, tens of thousands of people, which is a lot, honestly, attend the events. And this is not a big town, I don't think. Um, this town, it says, is a home to 6,000 people. So imagine
Wow.
tens of thousands of people in this tiny little town. So the annual festival traces its origins to 1887, which is so old, I can't even believe it, when member of the local Elks Lodge first went to Gobbler's Knob. I don't know if you're
Okay.
familiar with Gobbler's Knob, which
I'm
always makes me
not.
laugh. This is what I dove into last year that made me want to do this episode. I was like, oh my gosh. Gobbler's Knob is Punxsutawney Phil's home. So if you
It's
guys are
like his
watching the
hole in the
video,
ground.
uh, I don't know if it's a hole in the
Okay.
ground. I think it's the whole area of where they do this
Okay.
festival. And I think they actually bring him there. So we'll get into that. He actually
Oh.
doesn't live in a hole, surprisingly.
Oh.
I know. So yeah, the local Elks Lodge, they were the first ones to go to Gobbler's Knob, his home, and they consulted a groundhog about the weather. So the observance developed into an annual tongue-in-cheek ceremony at which the groundhog, given the name Punxsutawney Phil in the 1960s, communicates his prediction to the inner circle. So I mentioned the inner circle earlier. He was on the cover of that book. This is a group of men that wear formal suits and top hats, specifically the top hats. And these are the only people that can translate what Punxsutawney Phil says. So they are like the human translator of the animal. Isn't it crazy?
That's just so deep. Like for no reason.
I know.
This is a whistle pig. And you're telling me you have to get dressed up in a suit and a
Yes,
top hat to
top
tell me
hat.
what he says?
Yes. And so, like I said, if you're watching the video right now, you can see I'm going to put the sign that says, like, welcome to Gobbler's Knob. Why they named it Gobbler's Knob, I cannot. I have no
That
idea.
is so
But I just love it.
bad.
So, even though it's one of only many Groundhog Day celebration ceremonies held in the United States and Canada, the Punxsutawney event is the most popular.
Mhm.
So, we're going to talk for 2 seconds about how accurate the groundhogs are, because this is also the funny fact. So, studies by the National Climatic Data Center and the Canadian Weather Service have yielded a dismissal success rate of around 50% for Punxsutawney Phil. So either Punxsutawney Phil's doing a bad job or the inner circle is not translating well.
So you could flip a coin and tell
Yes.
me if the winter is gonna last just as long
Yes.
as this guy can.
Now, what's interesting though is that Staten Island Chuck is accurate almost 80% of the time. So if you want to know what we're going to deal with more winter or spring, I would recommend checking out Staten Island Chuck's live stream.
Okay,
Just
so
saying.
this is so funny because that is such that name doesn't have the same mouth feel
Ring. I
as
know. It
Puxatawny
doesn't.
Phil.
I know.
And there's also a bunch of different ones. I don't know if you go into like, oh, there
I
is
do.
local
I have
groundhogs. Okay.
ours. Yes. We'll get into ours. But yeah. Yeah, Staten Island Chuck. It's honestly,
Okay.
I love it though. It's just so funny. But yeah, you're right. It doesn't have like a ring to it. It's not the same.
No.
So we're gonna get into Punxsutawney Phil's lore first. We're gonna learn about his lovely wife, and then we're gonna get into our local groundhogs in
Okay.
DC and Columbus. So um according to the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club website, which is like a official thing, Phil lives in a man-made burrow at a roadside zoo in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. So he does not live in a hole in Gobbler's Knob. Unfortunately, he lives in
That's
there.
so
So
funny.
his burrow actually has a viewing window, so the public can like stop by and see him every single day of the year. And he lives there with his wife Phyllis. So Phil,
He has a wife.
yes, I know.
He's
And
in
they have
love.
kids. So this picture on the screen you can see, Punxsutawney Phil is a new dad after his wife Phyllis delivered two baby groundhogs. They have kids.
They're in love.
Just take a moment, everybody. Sit with that. It's
They're a
hilarious.
whole family.
They are. So Punxsutawney Phil, now this is where it gets interesting, and this is stuff I actually didn't know yet. Punxsutawney Phil is denied the basic functioning of his species because most would be in hibernation, but in Phil's burrow at the zoo, both the climate and the lights are kept at the same like setting every single day of the year to prevent his body from receiving the natural signals to go into hibernation. So
Okay.
that allows Phil to remain awake during daylight hours every single day, meaning the club and the zoo can profit off him every single day rather than only for 9 months, right? Because people can go see him every day. And it also ensures that Phil is awake on Groundhog Day every time, which occurs shortly before that wild, like natural groundhogs would come out of hibernation. So,
That's
as you
so
can guess,
sad.
yeah, as you can guess, many animal advocates have campaigned for the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club to retire Phil because obviously it's sad, but they think they should let him live his days out at an animal sanctuary.
But also,
So yeah,
animals that are meant to hibernate, if you take away their hibernating, they don't live as long because
yes,
that's meant
exactly.
to prolong their life. They
Yes,
sleep for 3 months so that they can live longer.
it's sad. I did not know any of that. I mean, I knew that he was obviously a different groundhog. Like he didn't live for 200 years. But
Well, yeah.
on the screen, I'm showing you guys a picture of his like little burrow. So that's his man-made hole right there on the top.
Okay.
And then under that is just like the entrance of his burrow at the zoo, Phil's
That
burrow.
is
Yeah,
terrifying.
I know. It's a giant, you guys, groundhog. It looks more like a beaver. It doesn't
It's
really look like a
horrible.
groundhog,
I
but
hate it.
um, yeah. So that's kind of where Phil lives and Phyllis, the whole thing. But there's a little bit of lore. So the practices and lore of Punxsutawney Phil's predictions are predicated on a lighthearted suspension of disbelief by those involved. So according to lore, there's only one Phil, and all other groundhogs are imposters. It is claimed that this one groundhog has lived to make weather what in the hell?
Prognostications.
Prognostications, wow, since 1886, sustained by drinking groundhog punch or elixir of life administered at the annual groundhog picnic in the fall. So the lifespan of a groundhog in the wild is roughly 6 years. Now, Punxsutawney Phil, he's been around the block. So,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
according to the Groundhog Club, and I keep saying the Groundhog Club, you guys, that's like the official website of Punxsutawney Phil. There's people that are like, this is their job is to do this every year, I guess.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, according to the Groundhog Club, Phil, after the prediction, he speaks to the club president in the language of groundhogese, which supposedly only the current president can understand. And then all his prediction is translated and he reveals it to the committee or whatever they're called.
So that guy's on drugs.
Yeah, something. Or he's just making it all up.
Yeah.
So Phil first received his name in 1961.
So you're telling me that this man, this groundhog,
Yes.
excuse me,
Oh, yes,
has meant to be alive since 1886, but he didn't receive a name until 1961. So you're telling me that I'm meant to believe that this is the same groundhog from 1886. However, he didn't get named until 1961. You're lying. You're lying.
So the origins of his name are unclear, but people speculate that it may have been indirectly named after Prince Philip. So I don't know if that's true. That seems like a stretch to me. I feel like Punxsutawney Phil, maybe Philadelphia. That would be more realistic to me as far as geography goes. I don't know. I don't know how he got his name, but
it's also an alliteration. That's
exactly,
where it came from.
It sounds great, honestly. I love his name, but he's more than 125 years old thanks to the magical punch that he drinks every year. So that's the lore.
He's 6 years old and he dies. No, he's probably less than 6 years old because they won't let him sleep for 3 months.
No, literally. I can't believe how fast I've been talking, apparently, but I'm not mad. So now we're going to get into that. That wraps up Punxsutawney Phil. We're going to get into our local groundhogs, though. So are you interested in anything else or want to say anything else about Punxsutawney?
I just think that this is hilarious.
It's hilarious. This is why I wanted to do it so bad. I'm like, nobody knows. I feel like a lot of people don't know that this is what it's about. Like, it's just a random day on our calendars that's marked Groundhog Day, and you're just like, oh, cool, and nobody gets off work. That's pretty much it.
I know what Groundhog Day is. I know that the groundhog comes out of the hole. I know he looks for a shadow. I mean, it's like I know all the lore,
basics,
lore behind it, but I didn't know like this lore.
Yeah, I know. I just love it. So we're going to talk about our local groundhogs. The one I chose for Marissa because it's the biggest one in her area is the Washington, D.C. one. So if you live near Washington, D.C., you may be happy to know that you have your own local Groundhog Day observance at the DuPont Circle Fountain. So it's modeled on the Punxsutawney event, and it features Potomac Phil, which is freaking hilarious. But he's stuffed. So he's a taxidermied groundhog. So he magically communicates his predictions to an inner circle of people in top hats in DC. So unlike
what is the top hat to do with? Like you told me everything else, but why do they have to be in a top hat and like a suit?
Part of the magic.
Like I'm just imagining like a guy with coattails like running around the city.
No, it is.
Being like, I heard the news from Potomac Phil.
Winter continues.
Yeah, like what?
So I'm putting a picture on the screen, you guys. He looks very patriotic, which I love for Potomac Phil. Potomac Phil.
Yeah.
So unlike Punxsutawney Phil, Potomac Phil will make predictions. This is the best part about the physical and political climate. So in 2021, for example, he predicted both an early spring and a continued political gridlock. And this article said, we'll let you judge how accurate he was. So this is
I wonder what he's going to say this year because like the inauguration is happening very soon.
Well, so maybe he'll be there. Maybe he'll attend. You never know.
He probably will. He is stuffed. Photo. They can put him in his pocket and take him wherever they want.
Yes.
He's also a big boy. He's a thick boy.
I know. When I said, so I was telling Angela a little bit about this and I said stuffed. He thought I meant a stuffed animal. I'm like, no. This is a stuffed real groundhog. Like, unless that's a really good replica.
I also thought that it was stuffed animal.
Not to be confused. This is a taxidermy Whistle Pig.
That's
That's
insane.
my new name of choice, Whistle Pig.
Do we know
So
how accurate Potomac Phil is?
let's find out. I
I
don't
will
know,
look it
but
up.
yeah, look it up. Potomac Phil's a good name though. I got to give them credit for that. I like it.
Um,
Ooh, I see
oh,
40%. Oh
I'm
wait, no.
seeing a 28% success rate.
Ooh, so sorry. Yeah. I mean, he is stuffed. I don't know what we expect.
Well, shadows come the same if you
Yeah,
are.
that's true. Does he do shadows though, or is it just magic? I guess I don't know because it just says he
Um,
makes predictions and then he tells the guy with the hat. I don't know if he does shadow. Maybe he does.
I don't understand, but also Wikipedia says that the Storm Facts Almanac gives Potomac Phil an estimate of 39% accuracy.
Okay, so, you know,
Okay.
it's just okay. All right, well, that's DC. So if you're in the DMV area,
Yeah,
that's your guy. Check
that's
out,
so
watch Potomac
funny.
Phil's live stream this year. I don't know if they all have live streams, but I would assume they do. It's
I
kind
would
of funny.
think.
This would be something fun to go to just because it's just silly. Like, what?
I'm just looking up other area ones now. I'm on a rabbit hole now in the middle of this episode.
It's
So
addicting.
we have Staten Island Chuck that you talked
Right.
about.
And he's pretty
We
good.
have the Georgia Groundhog, General Beauregard Lee,
Oh, wow. What a
aka
name.
Bo. We
Bo.
have Woodstock Willie in Woodstock,
Wait,
Illinois.
I like Woodstock Willie. That's
I
cute.
do. We have Potomac Phil.
Right.
And then I'll keep the next one out because that's the
Okay,
Ohio
yeah.
one. We have Woody the Woodchuck in Howell,
Cute.
Michigan.
Love. Good
We have
names.
Octoraro Orphe in
What?
Quarryville, Pennsylvania.
Flop. That's a Punxsutawney Phil wannabe.
Yeah, we have Scramble the Duck in Connecticut.
What?
I don't
That one
know.
sounds gross.
Polk County Paula
Oh, love
in
it.
Central Iowa.
Polk County Paula.
Boulder's Flatiron Freddy.
No, that's a flop for me. Mm-mm.
I don't know. Chuckles the Groundhog and Beardsley Bart.
What even is that? I'm crying.
Those are two in Connecticut.
Oh, that is funny. Connecticut is not big enough to need two.
We
Calm down,
have,
guys.
well, they have three apparently because I
Oh
already
my
mentioned
God.
one earlier. And then
Oh
we
my
have Big
God.
Al the alligator. He's
What?
a
Louisiana?
pause. He's a 13-foot 4-inch long alligator that's predicting if we'll get an early storm in
What?
southeast Texas.
What the hell? I didn't know there could be other like things. That is so funny.
He's been doing it for 18 years. He's nicknamed Big Al. At
Big
noon on
Al.
Friday, Al was offered a piece of chicken and took a couple bites. According to Gator Country's Gary Sarog, if he had
No.
refused this snack, winter would have been here for another 6 weeks.
That is funny.
That is so funny.
So his is based off eating. Love that for him.
I guess so. I wonder if Scramble the Duck is a duck then.
Now, yeah, now I'm confused. Scramble the duck? It has to
Um,
be. That's a duck.
I guess it doesn't say. Oh, his handlers boast a 100% accuracy rate.
The duck?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm
So
impressed.
maybe we should be
We have the
using
wrong
a
animal.
duck.
Yeah.
How do you get from Groundhog Day, the holiday, and then you just grab an alligator and give him
And
a
feed
piece of
it.
chicken?
Chicken leg. It's time for
What?
lunch.
Okay.
LOL. Okay.
Okay. Back to
So
you.
this is the last one I have because I just pulled our locals. So
Uh-huh.
Buckeye Chuck, which by the way, Buckeye Chuck's way better than Staten Island Chuck.
Yeah,
Come
Buckeye
on.
Chuck's great.
Buckeye Chuck is so cute. So, this is Ohio's official groundhog, and he has been here since the state legislature declared him so in 1979. Pretty cool. So, he's pretty good at it, according to the WMRN radio host, Paul James, who helped lead Marion's Groundhog Day celebration for years. He said that this groundhog is 75% correct in his 40 years or so that he's done predictions, and he does way better than that rodent to the east, which I think is shade and so funny.
Fire.
So now I'm
Okay.
showing you guys a picture of Buckeye Chuck. He's nibbling something. I actually don't know what that is. Maybe a
Is that
carrot,
an
maybe an orange. I
orange?
thought it looked like a mandarin slice. Maybe it is. I don't know what you can. I guess you can just like they can eat whatever. They eat berries and whatever else I said.
I think Buckeye Chuck's
Succulents.
cute.
Buckeye Chuck is kind of cute, and he looks, he's like well groomed. He's like a good looking
Yeah.
guy. He keeps his stuff together. So I love that for him.
What do we think his wife's name is?
Ooh,
Buckeye Chuck.
let's name Buckeye Chuck's wife. I mean, wait, Punxsutawney
Charlotte.
Phil and Phyllis. So
Charlotte.
Chuck, yeah, that could work. It's CH. I'm wondering if there's a like girly name that starts with a ch, like a ch
No.
sound, but I feel like there's not. Cause I mean Charlotte's CH, but Chunky Mama.
Charlie? Chunky Mama.
And she
That's
eats.
not it.
She eats to
She
predict the new
does
year.
eat.
Chunky Mama.
That's so
I'm
funny.
crying. Chuck and Charlie, short for Charlotte.
Hmm,
That
hmm,
could be
hmm.
cute. Wait, I kind of like that. Buckeye, Chuck, and Charlie.
Or he's gay.
Oh, yes. Wait. Now that changes things. Chuck and Chunky Daddy.
Chunky Daddy. I was gonna just say Charlie could be
We're
a
getting out of
boy's name
hand. That's true.
instead.
Please, I can't. So there you go, you guys. Like that is your history on Groundhog's Day. I hope you learned something in this
I
episode.
learned
I
a
know I
lot.
did. I know. I learned a couple of new things too, and I'm glad that we figured out about the alligator too. I cannot believe they just feed it a chicken leg. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I'm glad that
hilarious.
I looked that up. That
Yes.
I couldn't have lived without that information.
Absolutely not. And now we know that the DC one, he's stuffed. So
He
it's a
I just
different
can't
vibe. He's
believe.
definitely not munching on
He
a
could
mandarin
live
or a peach.
forever.
Yes, he could be 125 years old or
Hmm.
more. So there you go. If you want to check any of my sources, like I said, they will be in the description. You can check them. You can fact check me. You can let me know if you learned something new, or you can just dive into a deeper hole because trust me, there's plenty where that came from. Like you will find more. So that's Groundhog Day, people. And
Yay.
I have to say, of course, happy Groundhog Day because I planned
Happy
this episode to
Groundhog
come out
Day.
in just enough time for you guys to see it. So that will be
Yay.
very exciting. It's this upcoming weekend. So celebrate
Woohoo.
accordingly. Watch your favorite
Yes.
groundhog on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so random. I've never even watched a Groundhog Day, like ever.
Me
So
neither.
I just
Well,
think
maybe
that's
I
funny.
have. I don't know.
Last year, I was just like, what's the sitch with the groundhog? And I
Yeah.
Googled it, and then I found about Phil and Phyllis and the kids, and I was like, holy shit, this is so much Gobbler's knob. I was like, what the hell is going on?
The inner circle,
The
the
inner
top
circle.
hats, the
The inner
crazy.
circle sounds so culty.
Yeah, for real. This
The inner
whole thing
circle.
is a cult.
It's
Like,
so I just don't even know. Like, even though I gave history on the holiday, I still don't know where it came from. Like, why do we have inner circle? Like, there's so much more you could go. So I encourage you all to find that out and maybe read the book if you're really interested. Maybe that'll be my next book club.
okay, so I was just thinking the definition of a cult is a system of religious veneration or devotion directed towards a particular figure of object. This
Okay.
is a cult.
It's not religion, so I don't know if it technically
Well, it's a
qualifies.
religious veneration. Like you're consistently
I
referring
guess.
and like doing this like thing.
Yeah.
Or it could also mean a misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular person or thing.
There
This
you
is a cult.
go.
This is
It's
for sure a cult.
it's very interesting. It's yeah, it's like I don't know, it's funny because it is very culty vibes, but it's also
Mm.
like there's a lot of things you could call a cult, and at least this one, as far as we know, is not hurting anyone. Like it's just a funny
Yeah.
one. It's a funny
I don't
cult.
think all cults are like
No, I don't
hurting
either.
people. I just think, or religious. I don't think
Right.
any, like, I don't think a cult has to be religious to be a
Yeah.
cult. But I think that any, like,
It's
intense
so weird. Yeah.
fixation on something and, like, a practice like this, it's a cult.
It's the top hats for us, you guys. I'm
Yeah.
gonna put little top hats on our head. We're the official groundhog girls. Oh my God. Anyway, so I hope you all enjoyed listening to this. I hope you, like I said, learned something about Groundhog Day. Definitely let us know. First of all, if you guessed that this is what we would be talking about, because I just feel like I really pulled this one out of somewhere. And
Yeah.
let us know what your local or what your favorite groundhog is. It doesn't even have to be, it could just be like your favorite name. Like, it's
Oh,
just fun.
my favorite groundhog is for sure the alligator.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. And the duck, I'm interested to see what he looks like too. I'll put in
Yeah.
pictures of the alligator and the duck when I edit this, you guys, just so you can see
Okay.
because it's so funny. So yeah, if you didn't watch this on video, I hope you still had a fun time hearing our descriptions. And I wonder what you pictured for Potomac Phil.
Not that.
Yeah, he's so patriotic too, which I love. But yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's a wrap.
Yay.
Definitely follow us on Instagram. Not only do we put pictures in the episodes, we put them on our Instagram story and our posts so that you guys have so much visual context because of course we're just talking to you, so it helps. We're at We Run on Coffee on Instagram. And yeah, check out our video on Spotify and on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Whether or not you watch the video there, it's still very, very helpful. So if you would do that, we would be so grateful. And thank you to everyone who subscribed so far. I think we have 8 and we literally just
10.
Started the channel. 10! Oh my God. And we literally just posted the first video a week ago as we're filming this. Not even a couple days ago. That is actually so insane. So thank you guys so much for that.
Yay.
And you know, the more subscribers we get on YouTube, the more content we can churn out. And if we ever start making some money, the more we can give you. Like, we will give you so much more content. So that will be helpful. But anyway, that's all. I'm done rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you next time. And with that, I'm Arika.
And I'm Marissa. And we run on coffee.
Bye.